wish I'd done this. That's the brief. I ignore briefs. So I've got two for you. I forgot to say, my name is Quinton, Creative Director at the Partners. I've been doing this quite a long time, and I've got a lot of favourite pieces of work. And I have to say, Craig's piece is really, really up there as well. I think it's just fantastically kind of empathetic. But I've got some design work to share with you. So, number one of the two. It's a charity report. This is completely different. This isn't Beyonce. This is something that's right down on the humble scale. We know annual reports, we know charities. They're very earnest things. People, they get worried about how to design a report for a charity because you've got to be good. You've got to be kind of, on the one hand, appealing to donators and make them give lots of money. On the other hand, you've got to give some information. You've got two things going on. And the tendency is they all will end up looking like this, the kind of, oh, please, or we're doing really well, and, and don't, our rats are fine, thank you very much. It's the charities, and they're worried about things. And from a communication point of view, that's a tough gig. And they tend to all look the same. And that's the reason why I like this particular piece. This is for the Calgary Society for Persons with Disabilities, who combined with WAX, who's a creative agency in Calgary. And what they did was this incredibly humble piece of work. It's approximately 20 sheets of paper, printed black and white. That's it. There is nothing sophisticated about this thing at all. The key thing about it is that little thing in the middle there. What is that? It's a staple. That staple goes right through the middle of the book, and it changes everything. You get the book, you try looking at it. You start trying to kind of read the pages. They don't open. All the pages are kind of elongated, and you have to kind of turn it around to try and make it work, to be able to try and read this thing. It's frustrating. This is not what we should have to experience as normal people when we're getting a report. We're, as a recipient of this thing, we are contributing money to this charity. Therefore, the designers should be considerate and nice and so on. But what this is all about making you understand that the difficulties of everyday details of life and what, if you have a disability, how difficult it is just to do the ordinary things in life. So you have to turn it around. It's really painful. To be honest, when I came across the black pencil judging, and I picked this thing up. Initially, my first reaction was, this is a little bit pretentious because it's all kind of minimal. Why is this here? And then I started reading it, and I got, fuck. Sorry, Craig. Fuck. I thought, this is really annoying because it's, how dare these people do this thing? It's just so frustrating. And it is really, really fucking frustrating. And you get to that point, you think, why are they doing this? And then you turn over to the back of the page and the back cover, and you read who it's from, and then it all makes sense. And that's the point. You experience what it's like to have a disability. And I think that's just it. What it does is it transforms an experience. So rather than being a report, it is helping you to emphasize with people with a disability, and suddenly everything changes. That is brilliant design. Now, just to give you an idea of how this actually kind of looks from a reading point of view, cover, nothing on it. Then you get an image and a piece of text. Another image. Somebody having a bath. But it's not all bad. There is some spirit and some joy in there. The mundane stuff is really tricky. It's the everyday things, how are you going to eat? What are you going to eat? Who's going to feed it to you? And that's really where this charity comes in. So it's kind of bad on one side, beautifully written. Photographs are just simple but articulate. And it's just a very, very humble, simple piece that just gets the nub of it. I just think that's design at its absolute best. So that's my first piece. By way of complete contrast, the second one is a brand experience or an expression of brand. And I came across this because I was doing some research for doing an update of this book that we did 20 years ago next year, Smile in the Mind, which is all about wit in graphic design. Anyway, it's 600 new pieces, whatever. I'm not doing a sales pitch on this book, honestly. But the point is that I did a lot of digging around trying to find new examples. And I found something that I hadn't come across before. This is the cover. Ugh. Very, very fluorescent. Anyway, this piece is the one that I want to talk about now, which is for Victor and Rolf, working with a Dutch design agency. I'm not going to try and say the name. And what they did was a really nice store in Milan. Beautiful. Really, really exquisite spaces, lovely arches, really lovely. The crafting was exquisite as well. The thing is, don't know if you spotted the logo embossed in the wall. It's upside down, because it's Victor and Rolf, isn't it? So it's going to be different. The whole store is upside down. Every single detail is upside down. So you're walking on the ceiling. You've got flowers coming down from the ceiling. You've got pillars in the wrong place. You've got weird things going on all over the place. The only thing they put the right way up was the clothes, which I think is a nice touch, nice kind of detailing. So arches became seats. There's just to prove it that it is upside down is a photograph of a lady. And I love details like the wood being in position in the fireplace. The outside of the store, every fucking detail is perfect. You've got chandeliers the wrong way up. The light bulbs detail should have been the other way. But anyway, the logo upside down, the door upside down, everything is just exquisite. It's exquisite. Just a detail of that, and you can see a little bit of the window display. And so you've got a dress. How are you going to hang a dress if you can't put it in a normal mannequin, the normal way up? You get creative about it. And this is just using the props of the space to hang the dress. I think that's a wonderful detail. Just imagine at night time driving past this thing thinking, what the fuck? And then here we've got some of the products, the perfume on the shelves, and they're all suspended as well. It's just mad, it's just bonkers, and it's brilliant. The screen, you can just about make out the screen in the fireplace. There's a series of screens, and they're all playing videos upside down as well. It's all the way through the details. And then through a long shot on the foyer. So I think that's kind of it, actually. But the reason I wanted to show it is because this is an articulation that is perfect for these guys. What they do is they challenge the norm whenever they can. So a dress becomes, they challenge the form of a dress, which is just brilliant. A painting, a normal painting with a picture frame, becomes transformed in their hands. It's just they don't look at things in the way that most people do. And they just challenge all of the conventions, and that's why it's so perfect. They do a catwalk show, and they have all the lights out, total darkness, and just bells on the clothes. So you have to listen to what the clothes sound like. That's how they do a catwalk, like they did once. So I think that's a really kind of cool example. And then these guys, obviously, they're going to take a hand grenade and make that into packaging for perfume because it's on brand for them. And I think that's why it's such a perfect example of doing the store upside down, because it's a manifestation of their brand, and that's the reason why I'd love to do something like that. Work with a brand that has that degree of confidence to do whatever the hell they like is just wonderful. I mean, I'm lucky I work with a lot of great brands, but this is to another level. So that's it. Two examples. The very humble annual report designed at its best, and then a brand experience at its very best as well. So, gracias.